Steve, with this iteration of the roster, you guys are coming off of a title, which you guys have said is unexpected. It kind of reminds me, honestly, of like you guys coming when you were with the '96 Bulls and like the next year, right? You know, you guys have a year off of base or 2 years off, basically, of circumstance, and you guys are going into this season where you guys are defending a title. I don't know if it's expectedly or unexpectedly, but how are you seeing how you're going to coach this season? What are you looking to? What do you think that this season is going to bring in terms of how you need to coach it?
Well, I think it'll be an extension from last season, but with the knowledge of how good we can be. Last year we had this plan to develop our young guys, Wiseman, Kuminga, Moody, Jordan Poole. And we thought, we can get back into contention for a title, but we didn't really know. We knew Clay was going to come back. So we felt like we could do both. And as it turned out, obviously we ended up, winning the title and so this year is really an extension of that. We still need to develop those young guys because our older guys are, they're on the back nine now of their careers. And, but the knowledge of, hey, we just won a championship. We know how to do this. I think it gives us a little more confidence in the plan, going forward, that as long as we're healthy and functioning well going into the postseason, like we can do this again.
So I don't know if a lot of listeners know, and I don't know if you guys even philosophically still do it, Steve. But like at exit interviews, when a season would be over, you'd go in, you'd sit with your GM and your coach, especially when you were one of these young players that Steve's talking about, and there would be like, "Hey, Raj, look, you did X, Y, and Z. Here's where we see you. Here's what we'd ideally like you to progress at and get better at. Spend some time focusing on this in the summer." So as it pertains to these young guys, Steve, and I don't know if you feel comfortable, but like, what do you see each one of them in terms of their development? What's the next step that you'd guys like to see them take?
Yeah, I mean, each one is different. Jordan Poole took a leap last year and became a really high-level player. And so, his next step is to become a better two-way guy. He's a really dynamic offensive player. He's much stronger and more athletic than I think people realize, even maybe more than he realizes. So can he become a two-way guy like Klay Thompson? That's his next step. And you go down the list and each guy sort of has, his things that he's got to improve upon. And for Wiseman, it's really about getting healthy, missing all of last year. He just needs to play. And good thing is he's had a great summer. He's been, playing pickup every day. His knee's doing great. There's going to be a natural progression with him because he's a big man. Big guys usually take longer to develop, and he just needs reps. But more than anything, he needs to be healthy. So that's for him. I could keep going down the list, but we need to do all this within the context of trying to win games and trying to, prepare ourselves for the playoffs too. So it's not an easy task because there are going to be nights where these guys, play a lot. There's going to be nights where they don't play as much, and we got to keep it all going.
You referenced Wiseman, and I think the last time you were on the pod, Wiseman was in the midst of the up and down rookie year, right? He would show really great spurts. I remember that dunk in Detroit where he just goes full court and he just slams, and it just looks like something we haven't really seen before out of a center on your roster. But right now, what is it a reasonable expectations for him this season in your eyes, right? Because he hasn't played a lot of basketball, but he does show spurts when he can. What is a reasonable expectation from him if you want to win a title this season?
Well, I mean, to be fair to him and to Loon, Loon's our starting five. I mean, he's a championship player. He's won multiple rings. He's proven in the playoffs that he can switch and guard almost anybody out there, and also has the wherewithal to be really effective offensively because of his knowledge, his screen setting, his recognition of patterns, all that. So, realistically, Wise will back up Loon. But Wise has the capability to do some things that Loon can't. Number one being a lob threat. So we've got to put Wise in a position where he can be diving to the rim, giving us that vertical spacing that we haven't had maybe since JaVale was here.
Yeah.
He runs the floor beautifully. Biggest thing for James is, he has the capability to be a really dominant defender with his size and speed, but it takes a ton of reps, and so we're going to be asking him to defend and run the floor and be that lob threat, and no doubt in my mind he's going to get better and better as the season goes on, and he's got a great future.